This is Dr. Sarah Renee Langley, your Limitless Liberator, and I just want to welcome you to the Collaborative Blueprint Summit. So I just really want to thank Lucas, Caitlin, Amy, my counterparts, some of my cohorts, or whatever you call it. I just want to thank them for my colleagues in this industry who are presenting, who have presented, and who will present. And so I just really want to take the time to say thank you to also you for watching and to be a part of this, because hey, you could have been anywhere, but you had decided to be with us. So thank you so much for your time. That is your greatest asset, and that you have decided to spend time with us. So that being said, I'm going to go right into it. Yes, give you real quick about my background. I've been in nearly 30 years, so I know, there's a saying that Black don't crack. This is no offense to anyone, but it just makes someone like me feel so good that I've had the opportunity and the pleasure to help revolutionize and be part of this journey of helping women leaders redefine their success and happiness on their own terms, so that they learn how to live, love, and lead powerfully and boldly, without limits, without guilt, apology, without fear of loss. And I am just so happy to be a part of the summit to help you to now learn how you are meant for millions and built for billions. So when I ask you that question, I want to know what comes to mind. I want you to imagine, what does that look like for you when I ask you, what or how are you meant for millions and built for billions? I want you to hold fast to that vision, that image. Don't discount it, don't discredit it, don't do any of that. Because we tend to do that because we start to open our eyes and look at the reality around us. But actually, the first thing that you have to do when it comes to being meant for millions and built for billions is to focus on your mindset. That is the foundation. That's what you have to hold on to and to stand on, so that you can catapult into that type of image that you have. I want you to hold fast to it. If you got to screenshot it, if you got to draw it, if you have to make it as a screensaver, if you have to make it a screensaver on your phone, do whatever it takes so that you can hold on to it and do not dismiss it. Because you're like, oh, but look at where I am now. Look at my bank account. Look at what I have. But rather, look at you being just fine and just enough, and that you're on your process to get to that level. It really does take a certain level, a certain mindset. As a matter of fact, around the time of this recording, we talk about Beyonce and the Renaissance experience, and the difference between perhaps where she is and where she was. We don't look at the middle enough. We just look at the glitz, the glamour, look at where the person is, but not knowing what did it take to get there. And the difference between perhaps her and others was the fact that her mindset, she was laser focused. It didn't matter what people were saying to her in regards to, oh, you're not going to make it. You're not good enough. Look at what happened to Destiny's Child. Look at what, you're going to break out solo. Oh my gosh. And she had to counter that with seeing the image that she is displaying today. She had to already see that. But really, if we're going to take it there from mindset wise, she had to already be it. Who caught that? She had to already be that person 20 years before. So I want you to be able, whatever image that you have, when I ask you the question, to disrupt the pattern, the programming, the conditioning, the reality that you may be currently living. Doesn't have to be your truth. Start doing what it takes, and whatever image that you have, that you preserve it. It's not to be compared. It's not to be, to ask, okay, what do you think about this idea? And you're asking people who may have abandoned their own idea some years ago because they were listening to someone that said that they couldn't do it. I'd rather you do what you're doing. Give yourself credit for showing up for the summit, and the fact that you're being around like-minded individuals that can help you to nurture, to water, to help with your image to become 8 figures, meant for millions, built for billions. As a matter of fact, let's talk about it. So remember, mindset is everything. Our minds have been programmed to protect us, to keep us in a box, though, to keep us safe. So I want you to honor your mind in regards to if there's times that you're like, oh, I can't make it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not good enough. I call them unspoken rules. They're swarming in your mind as a defense mechanism. It's trying to protect you from getting hurt, disappointed, whatever it's trying to protect you and save you from. So instead of dismissing what your mindset has been programmed to do, honor it, give it thanks, because it's trying to save you. But now it's a matter of reframing it. And all that means is looking at it differently to the images that seems to be impossible. But understand that impossible is even possible. As a matter of fact, I want you to write this down. There's no such thing as weaknesses, only uncultivated strengths waiting to evolve. There is no such thing as weaknesses, only uncultivated strengths waiting to evolve. There's no such thing as weaknesses, only uncultivated strengths waiting to evolve. So with that being said, mindset is everything. That's your foundation to always fall back to when you need to. And you may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you used to be. And if we're able to do it, you can too. Yes or yes? So that being said, let's talk about it. There's a road to be traveled. They say, 6 and 7 figures are so last year, because I got to give it to these Gen Zers, man. They made it look so easy because there weren't anyone telling them, or if they were, they weren't listening to that. There's like, you know what, I can do this. There isn't anyone telling me that I cannot. This is not impossible. So I want you to have that same frame of mind, that it is not impossible. Actually, it is possible for you to make that happen. So I want to talk about this in terms of what will it take for you to get there to 6, 7, 8 figures. I want to introduce you to something called Dr. Langley's 5 S's to Successes. Dr. Langley's 5 S's to Successes. They are, now, 2 rules I have: relax, have fun, take it all in, be in this type of space that's going to help you to grow and nurture. Be mindful of what you consume, mind, body, and spirit, because that makes a difference in terms of your vision that you held or that came to mind when I asked you, how are you meant for millions, built for billions? So have fun, relax. Let's all kumbaya here, as well as make sure that you have a pen and paper because buckle up, we're ready to ride, okay? So to get to your 6 figures, 6, 7, 8 figures, 5 S's to successes. They are skill. Make sure that you are skilled in communication, sales, marketing. Come on, we're talking about psychology, understanding people's reason to buy from you. What makes people buy? If you have those skills, and that just takes you joining these summits, that takes you hiring a coach like Caitlin, like Lucas, like myself, do what it takes to help you to be held accountable for you to be successful in 6, 7, 8 figures. Understand that your business isn't even there and designed for survival, because there's a difference with your mindset in terms of being an employee and thinking like a CEO, even while you're an employee. That does not mean that you have to continue to think that way, but also you cannot operate as an employee with a business. This is about you being able to not just create a business, because we all can create it. It's another to sustain your business. And that's what separates us from others in terms of sustaining, for legacy's sake, for you to be able to set the example and leave the mark that others can follow because of you. So if you can think a little bit higher in those terms, that is beyond just trying to pay your bills or just trying to keep your home and trying to keep the lights on, this is higher level in terms of being able to be meant for millions and built for billions. Yes? So skill, get your skills together. Strategy, making sure that you have a proven strategy. Now, again, whether you have and you hire a coach to do that with Caitlin, with Lucas, with myself, and helping you to now have the proven strategies that have worked for others, that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So yes, it does take an investment in yourself, as opposed to thinking like, okay, well, wow, if I pay this money, will I get this? Will I get that? Or what do I lose? You have to have the mindset of not what do you lose, but what do you gain? What is the return on your investment? That's what you have to always move and think like when it comes to meant for millions, built for billions, the limitless way. So strategy, structure, make sure that your business is set up in the structure that it needs to be. If you have to have the right people in place, a team that can help you to structure your business so that you can operate as a CEO of your company, It's not about you being a CEO, chief everything officer. This is about you really being, an executive officer of your company. So start thinking that way. You don't have to wait until you get there. You can start right now. And when you blink, not literally necessarily, but when you blink, you're there. So making sure that you have the structure, system, make sure that you have a system in place that you have on repeat. You have to not, listen, this is not for the faint at heart. You have to be able to be okay with failing, but failing forward and knowing the failures and successes. So then you can now hone in such a way that now you have your system on repeat that has been successful for you over and over and over and over again, that can work with and without you operating it. And lastly, sensei, AKA teacher. So yes, it is a matter of making sure that you're not just creating the business just for ego's sake, or just to say, well, my parents, never did it. My grandparents never did it. So now I'm doing it. And that's it. Because I'll tell you, that was me. I thought that way. I'm like, you know what? First person to get a PhD in my family. One of the first in my family to embark and engage in entrepreneurship. And when I fulfilled it, I didn't understand why I couldn't get past that, because that's all where my mind was. It was like, oh, let me represent my family, and to show that, oh, we can do this despite of where we came from. But now it's a matter of beyond that, thinking higher level thinking when it comes to meant for millions, built for billions. This is not just about you. This is about those who are behind you. This is not just for legacy's sake. And I'm sorry, thinking about the past and you're representing your family or your ancestors, but this is about what kind of mark are you leaving for others to follow? That type of mindset gets you to understand being meant for millions and built for billions, the limitless way. So skill, strategy, structure, system, sensei. Dr. Langley's 5 S's to successes. All right. So for the sake of time, I want to get to now. We talked about mindset. We talked about the 5 S's that you need to have a successful 6, 7, 8-figure business. And now finally, we're talking about being meant for millions, built for billions, the limitless way. So I'm an acronym gal, and all that means that everything that I give is usually an acronym. Okay. So I also have to say that what had me to decide to embark on this entrepreneurial journey, don't say anything. This is a secret. Shh. I got tired of getting fired. I got tired of getting fired from jobs, from getting laid off. So I said, you know what, God, it's a sign. I need to go ahead and just make this happen. And that's what had me to decide to open up my business in my basement and then expand from there. So it's been an amazing journey, and I'm glad that I'm here to be able to share that with you. So lastly, I want to talk about are you meant for millions, built for billions, the limitless way. Limitless is an acronym, so let's go with it. L stands for listen. Have your ear to the streets. Have your finger on the pulse. What is the gap in the marketplace? What is the gap that you hear people are complaining about that you have a heart and a passion for? Or that it's not something that will be hard for you to make happen if you were to go into your skills, go into your sensei, go into structuring your business, going into creating the systems, going into, creating the strategy with your coach, so that you can now be able to, fulfill the gap in the marketplace and be successful in being meant for millions, built for billions, the limitless way. So listen, what is being said out there? What's not being said that you catch, so that you can now learn how to fulfill that gap. I, influence. Now, this is not just about influencing people and convincing them and persuading them to follow along to what you want, but actually a great influencer is someone who can empower, who can impact someone's life to now rise to the occasion of who they are in their own right. That you're not creating other people like you, but rather you're helping them to have the permission and validating that they can be their limitless selves in their own way. That's influence. M, measure. Track and measure everything. Document everything so that you can have something to fall back on, a point of reference, and also being able to track your progress along the way. What's working, what's not working, what needs to be tweaked, so that you can now have this on repeat over and over and over again, like a system. Yeah. In Limitless, we talked about listen, influence, measure. Now we're talking about improving and you being okay with starting over again or starting in the beginning again. And all that means is that you're ever evolving. So it doesn't have to necessarily mean that you're starting over from scratch, but it just means that now you may have concluded and completed an assignment. So now it takes you to the next level. No different from grade school. When you had completed grade school, then you went to, back in the day, was junior high school, middle school, to then go into high school, then college. So you're ever evolving. So be okay to improve on yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. It's for you to be the greatest version of yourself. T in Limitless, being meant for millions, built for billions, the limitless way, is you being able to embrace your own successes so that now you can teach successes and failures. So embrace your successes and failures so that therefore you can teach others how to do the same, how to manage failure, how to manage the things that come with this entrepreneurial journey, this 6, 7, 8-figure journey. Yeah. All right. L in Limitless. So we talked about listen, influence, M was measure, I was improve, T was teach, L is live. Live, y'all. I want you to live free. Be yourself. There's no one else that can beat you at you. So why not be yourself? Give yourself permission. There's nothing wrong with you. If anything, I want you to reframe it. Look at it differently. Look at it from a different way of not what you're lacking, what you're missing, what you're losing, what you're gaining, who you are already, where you are right now in your life. You may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you used to be. So don't discount and discredit your successes along the way. So live as yourself and trust yourself. Start learning how to listen and trust your discernment more. You'll be surprised how quickly you'll get to your 6, 7, 8 figures. Lastly, the last letters in Limitless, E, expand. Our businesses are not created just to be on survival. That's what jobs are for. There's a difference between your business and a job. Job is for survival, making sure that your bills are met and you're paid and your ends meet. This is about business where you are being the greatest version of yourself to expand and to express. Yes, your limitless self. That's what business is about. So if you can take on that mindset, that goes a long way. You'll be surprised. The money, you're not just doing it for the money. The money comes because it's helping you along the way to be your limitless version of yourself. Okay? So let's put that in context and in order. S, systematize. So systematize everything. So you're documenting everything and you're creating a system that is on repeat, that's actionable, that can be repeated and others can follow along, where you can work yourself out of a job in a business and let the business work for you. Let the money work for you over and over and over and over again. So start thinking systems. And lastly, serve. That you are here not just for yourself, but you're here for others as well, to help in service so that they, in turn, that you are called to serve or called to help, that they too can become limitless. So there you have it. Listen, influence, measure, improve, teach, live, expand, systematize, and serve. And that is how you get to be meant for millions, built for billions, the limitless way. This is Dr. Sarah Renee Langley, your Limitless Liberator, and it's been my pleasure to be a part of the Collaborative Blueprint Summit with you. Thanks.